We are going to preview the top 25-ish because what we're using in this is Baseball America. We're using Fangraphs some. We're using Todd Zalecki and MLB.com's midseason prospect rankings last year. So there's no unified 25 front. There's a variation of the top 25, and mostly the top 10 is more or less the same, given a couple spots difference here. But we're going to use a combination of all those and do a top 25, 26 preview of the top Phillies prospects in the system. And we're going to start today. Renee, with what we're calling number 25. Who knows if we end up doing 26 or not. But we can always back him up to 26 if need be. And this is a guy I don't think anybody thought was going to be this low on the list this time last year. Coming in number 25 on the Fangraphs report is Griff McGarry.
Griffin Thomas McGarry.
He started last year at this time as the Phillies' number 3 prospect. The year before that, he was number 11. So he had, an accelerated rise last year, and he fell off of a cliff this past year. Still only 24 years old, 6'2", 190 pounds, as you see the image up on the screen. He was all over the place last year, low A, double A, ended the year in triple A to get a couple more innings pitched at the end of the year. 17 starts, 60 innings pitched, 6 ERA, 81 strikeouts, 50 walks, a 1.5 whip. Ew. His career in minor league baseball is a 4.4 ERA with a 1.299 whip. Again, ew.
So every single day, we're going to be doing a Down on the Farm segment where we're going to do a deeper dive into the list of prospects. I know in the chat, MBDBDBF's asking, didn't we do this last week? Actually, last week was kind of us tiptoeing out this concept we're going to do. We were just listing them, but we're actually going to go take a deeper dive into who they are. So Griffin Thomas McGarry, I'll give you some background information. Born June 1999 in San Francisco, California, was drafted in 2021 in the Phillies' 5th round overall pick, 145 overall pick, I should say. Coming out of Virginia, has a brother, Matthew McGarry, was also, as Jamie mentioned, bounced around since 2019. We saw in 2019, McGarry was assigned to the Virginia Cavaliers, and from there went to the Phillies, the Clearwater Threshers, the Jersey Shore Blue Claws, the Reading Fighting Phils, the Lehigh Valley Iron Pigs.
So here's the root of his
the Phillies
issue.
spring training last year.
Taking it back to college while he was at Virginia. And he was taken, as you said there, what was it, the 4th round or 5th round?
5th round.
5th round, pick 145. He was taken, perceived to be early by the Phillies, I guess on where he was projected to go, because his junior year at University of Virginia, he was pulled out of the rotation. All the coaches said, best stuff on the staff, pitchers, pitching staff, starters or bullpen, hands down the best stuff. They pulled him from the rotation because Tyler, his walk rates per 9 in college was 8.8.
That's a walk-in inning.
8.8.
That's disgusting.
So he's one of these classic examples, and he's still 24, so you can't close the book on him, but he's one of these guys that just has unbelievable stuff with zero command or control. And you always take the shot on that guy because the stuff is the stuff. You can't duplicate stuff and nasty stuff. But if he can't figure out how to place his pitches this year, I think we're already at the point where we're talking about him as a bullpen piece, maybe even possible, back end of the bullpen piece. I think the days of hoping he's a starter for the future are more or less over. It could change here, but again, just great stuff. Hasn't been able to place the ball all the way back to college.
No, and that's the thing. He's been so inconsistent and up and down. Was named in July of 2023 with the Reading Fighting Phils, the pitcher of the month. I mean, we haven't seen enough from him positively. It's been sprinkles here and there, dating back to, as you mentioned, even in college. And for Griff McGarry to try to make that leap with the Phillies or with anybody in the majors, you need to consistently be able to deliver. And that's why we saw him drop from number 4 prospect to number 25 prospect. So I actually, for Griff McGarry, I know people in the chat are saying he's 24 years old. When do we stop considering someone a prospect? What age is that? And I think Griff McGarry's days are numbered as a prospect because you either have it or you don't. And I think at this point, this is the year. Last year we saw him, and he was invited into spring training, but this is the year. And I think we are nearing the end for Griffin Thomas McGarry to really show that he can be a pitcher in the majors.
Yeah, here's his scouting grade report from Baseball America. McGarry has a 5-pitch arsenal that stacks up well against any pitcher in pro baseball. He's got a 4-seamer, a cutter, a slider, and they all grade out at 115 or better on the Stuff Plus models. His plus 4-seamer averages over 95 miles an hour and tops out at 99 from a low slot with a heavy vertical angle and plus spin rate. He added a cutter to his arsenal last season. It's mid-80s offering that tops out at 89 miles an hour with elite spin rates that had a 49% whiff rate and a chase rate over 34%. This is all tantalizing information to Tyler. His slider is a 3rd-plus offering. It's a swing and miss pitch with a 2-plane break and plus spin rate that sits in the mid-80s. He rounds out his arsenal with a low 80s curve and a high 80s changeup. The organization has worked on making McGarry more directional towards home plate to improve his control and repeatability in his delivery, but there is still a timing issue in his delivery that causes strike throwing problems.
And again, this started back when he was with UVA, that at that time the Cavaliers coaching staff noticed that he had issues with his control, with his consistency, with his even confidence.
John Sequela has
Not
a name
great.
that I'm kind of like, yep. Same thing. Nick Pivetta had nasty stuff. He could never command and control his pitches well enough to become a great pitcher. And Baseball America goes on to say McGarry's stuff fits the top of the rotation type of guy, but his struggle with strike throwing and execution could limit him to a back-end starter or lockdown closer role. The Phillies still have confidence in his ability to start. So on the grade scale that scouts use, it's 20 to 80 on the scale. They grade his fastball as a 70, a curveball as a 50, slider as a 60, cutter as a 60, changeup as a 55, control at a 40. So if Griff McGarry doesn't end up making it, the control is the issue there, not the stuff. And you never want to give up on a guy like this, but as you said, age 24, like this is put up or shut up year for Griff McGarry. We'll find out what he is.